All right, what's up, guys? This is Rick from DFSOnDemand.com, and this is the preview for the WGC Bridgestone Invitational. Being played at Firestone Country Club out in Akron, Ohio. 7,400 yards, and it's a par 70. Keep that in mind. That's something we're going to talk about again shortly. Shane Lowry, your defending champion, a guy who's playing well right now. So this is the first time in a long time that the defending champ has good form coming into his event. And because it is a WGC event, there's only 61 players and there is no cut. So these are always a little bit fun, and the strategy changes just a little bit. You're willing to take on a little more risk because you know everybody's going to play 4 rounds. All right, before we start, I love Jason Day, I love Dustin Johnson, but unfortunately, the guys who are the most expensive, I'll probably will not be rostering too much of this week. The pricing is pretty soft with only 61 players in the field. They had to make some really good players fairly inexpensive, and that's what we're seeing with Patrick Reed, priced at $9,100. And it's not just the price that kind of bothers me with Reed, it's the fact that he's priced right in between and right next to Ricky Fowler and Hideki Matsuyama, and those are two guys who are really underperforming right now. But Patrick Reed is not. Patrick Reed's having a phenomenal season. He leads the tour in top 10s with 9. He's tied with Dustin Johnson for top 10s. He's been great in the WGC events this year. He has 2 top 10s in those events. He's played the Bridgestone Invitational twice, and he finished 15th and a tie for 4th in the last 2 years. So just a guy who is having a really good season, and he's not priced accordingly just because they have to go a little softer, or DraftKings has to go a little softer so that you can actually make lineups with only 61 players in it this week. Speaking of pricing issues, Marc Leishman is the guy who really jumped off the screen at me when I first looked at the salaries for this week. He is potentially the most underpriced player on the slate. He's having a really strong season. He's made 14 of 18 cuts on the PGA Tour. He has 7 top 25s. He's played 1 European Tour event, and he won that one. Total strokes gained for the season, 19th on tour, so that's basically your all-around strokes gained. He's in the top 20, obviously excellent, but the one that really jumps out to me is the next bullet point, and it's the par 4 scoring. Leishman ranks 7th in scoring average on par 4s this season. With 2 extra par 4s, with this playing as a par 70, the par 4 scoring is going to come into play in a big way. If you look at past tournaments, you'll notice that basically whoever shoots lowest under par on the par 4s wins this event. There is a very strong correlation. So if you're looking back at the tournament history on DFS On Demand, you'll see that basically just an unbelievable correlation between the guys who are shooting under par or shooting really well on the par 4s and their place in this event. And Leishman is a really, really good par 4 scorer. So I like him here. 2 WGC events this season, a T11 and a T28, and he's made all 3 cuts that he's played in the last 4 seasons at the Bridgestone. So a 33rd, a 3rd place, and a T45. Leishman really checks off all the boxes for me this week. All right, and then finally, I don't have a real true value for you this week, especially with how soft the pricing is. There's not a lot of deep players. The pricing is pretty, there's a lot of value pricing at every tier. So I'm going to go with David Lingmerth at 7,600 as my final guy here. Strong performer, 14 of 18 cuts made, playing really well, a T22, T27, and a 12th place in his last 3 tournaments. He's only played this tournament once, which was last year, and he finished 6th. So Lingmerth certainly has the game, the skill, some recent history here, and this is really just his time of year and his region of the country. Actually, the last 2 years he's had really strong success in this what they call major season, this June, July, August time frame. Plays well in Ohio. I don't know if he likes the grass there. Another strong par 4 scorer. So Lingmerth is a guy who checks in at 7,600. He's contended in big events. He's contended with strong fields before. I'm pretty confident in him. I think he's a really solid play. All right, that's it for me. Good luck this week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.